Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show.
Yes.
For the first time ever. Woo. Thanks for being here with us. We appreciate it. Hawks and Blues tonight. And boy, it is going to be a battle of the Titans when these two get together.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, just don't get hurt. No one get hurt.
Yes, thank you.
That's why most of the guys of any kind of consequence are still here in Chicago, not in St. Louis.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're going to give our Who's Our Hawk during the show today. We're also going to give each of us something to watch for in the game we're looking for and chat with y'all during the show. Quick 30 minutes here, so we're going to give you the lineups here right off the top. Here's what the Hawks are rolling out here against the St. Louis Blues.
This is from Ben Pope today at Morning Skate.
Courtesy of Ben Pope. Your top line, Lucas Reichel centering Colton Dock and Andreas Athanasiou. Cole Guttman centering Boris Kachuk and Joey Anderson. Whoa. Your third line is Mackenzie Entwistle centering Anders Bjork and Reese Johnson. And your fourth line, Brett Cini centering Mike Hardman, remember him, and David Gust.
That is a lineup that would contend for the Calder Cup.
They've got hockey sticks and jerseys and helmets and the whole deal.
Yeah.
They came with their own skates.
They brought their fucking toys with them. On defense, Alex Vlasic and Kevin Korchinski are your top pair. That's going to be fun to watch. Wyatt Kaiser and Isaac Phillips. Phillips getting some time on the right side.
Yep.
We've seen it from Kaiser.
As is Korchinski.
Yep, Korchinski too. And your third pair, Jared Tenorti and Nikita Zaitsev. I hope each of them play 28 minutes tonight. That would be great. Peter Mrazek is starting, and Arvid Soderblom is there in goal as well. The Blues, on the other hand, are rolling out an NHL lineup for the most part.
Yes, one can get ugly.
Yeah, Robert Thomas centering Pavel Buchnevich and Jordan Kyrou. Kevin Hayes centering Jacob Vrana and Jake Neighbors, the Jake line. Zach Dean is centering Zachary Bolduc and Nathan Walker. And Nikita Alexandrov is centering Mackenzie McEachern, great hockey name, and Matthias Laferriere. On defense, it's Torrey Krug and Kalle Rosen, Scott Perunovich and Matt Kessel, not Phil Kessel, Tyler Tucker and Robert Bortuzzo are your bottom pair, and in goal for the Blues, Jordan Binnington will poop his pants, or Joel Hofer will play. Not sure who's starting. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, if you're someone who bets on preseason hockey, I think your bet is going to be best made on the Blues tonight, or maybe Blackhawks plus 1.5. Maybe they keep it close. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, this is the last preseason game for the Blues. Home game. Give your fans who came out for the preseason one more NHL roster to watch. And yeah, for the Blackhawks, I mean, just no Bedard, no Taylor Hall. You keep it Seth Jones. You keeping all the big names out. Just come away with no injuries. And for the guys that are in the lineup, it's your last chance. Like there's a lot of guys on the cut line, guys on the bubble. You got the whole fourth line is guys that were called up today from Rockford with Hardman, Cini, and Gust. You get an opportunity to put one more preseason game on tape as we get into the regular season. So this is the last audition for NHL roster spots, and Luke Richardson said that he was going to give the final two preseason games the runway for those roster battles to play themselves out. So we'll see who steps up tonight and who's on the team, who's on the plane going to Pittsburgh.
One guy we haven't talked too much about this preseason is Cole Guttman, who is second line center tonight again with Kachuk and Anderson. I have sort of been going with the assumption that he's on the team, but as you talk about like the Kachuks and the Entwistles and those sort of things, he might be a guy who joins the team later in the year. I want him to make it. I just think I'm excited by what we saw from him last year in a short sample size. I assume he'll get a lot of ice time tonight to show what he can do, and he'll be up against some pretty solid competition.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him. I hope he makes the team. I hope he does.
I think he's on the team. I think based on, essentially being, in between Taylor Radish and Tyler Johnson all training camp, that kind of tells me that's your spot, kid.
Yeah.
Get used to these guys. It seemed that Tyler Johnson and Cole Guttman have kind of bonded a bit. There was a lot of times during like the stretches or in between drills, Tyler Johnson was always in Cole Guttman's ear, pointing at things, just giving him that advice of a guy that's done it before.
Yeah.
And I like that line. I like it because, we could call it the ex-Lightning line. All three of those guys
Sure.
were drafted by the Lightning organization. So I think Guttman's here, but yeah, it's
Wouldn't that be the Thunder line because it's Lightning and Thunder?
maybe. They could be
Thunderline. Isn't the Thunderline a show in Vegas?
I think it's Thunder Down Under.
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
think. I've never been to it.
Right. Thunder Down Under, something I don't have, so I don't go to that
definitely
show.
don't have season tickets to Thunder Down Under.
Is that what's in the sphere down there now? When U2's not playing, it's Thunder Down
Who
Under.
was saying yesterday? Is there some rumor that the draft might be there?
Chris
maybe.
Chris Johnson.
That would
Chris
be
Johnston.
amazing. That would be awesome.
How cool would that
That
be?
should be the permanent home of the NHL draft.
Yes.
Permanent home every year.
I'm
That's
down.
fair.
That'd be
And we
wonderful.
should be permanently going.
Yes.
Thank you, Circa. We love you.
I want to play this Xbox in the Sphere. Just fire up Red Dead Redemption or
I feel like
something.
you'd get like motion sickness
might.
because it's just all around you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
God, those YouTube videos that were coming out were just so awesome.
It's really cool.
I just mute them.
The outside, yeah, exactly. The outside is weird too because like they put different things.
Yeah.
Like they have like a big giant eyeball.
I don't like the
sometimes.
eyeball. The other ones I'm down with.
Could you
but
imagine being in like some Las Vegas strip hotel room, you and your significant other, about to do what significant others do, eat popcorn and watch movies and
Yes.
TV?
Yeah.
And there's this big eyeball looking at
Yeah.
you. Like, come on.
Or perhaps a magic mushroom fell in your mouth somewhere, and
Yeah.
then you look
Oh
out
my
your window
God.
and there's a giant eyeball out there.
Yeah, it's
Scary.
It's a little off-putting, but yeah, I would love the draft to be there. What the hell were we talking about?
I think the Hawks
This
and Blues
preseason game.
Yeah, Cole Guttman, the ex-Lightning
Guttman,
line.
yeah.
I think he's there,
The Thunder line. Yeah.
but
We're back.
there are, even though this game means absolutely nothing, and this lineup is pretty good, like Rockford Ice Hogs lineup, there are some things to keep an eye out for. You have five guys, not the Burgers, but you have five guys here that are essentially still fighting out for probably 2 roster spots.
And they know it.
Colton Dock, and he's on the top line tonight. Great opportunity for him. Boris Tkachuk and Joey Anderson, who are the wings for the aforementioned Cole Guttman. Those guys, I mean, I think Anderson is a long shot at this point, but
Yeah.
he's still there.
Still around.
Tkachuk is one of the odds-on favorite, and then you have Entwistle and Reese Johnson on that third line with Anders Bjork, who's only here on an AHL contract, and obviously the fourth line. Those are guys that have already been sent back to Rockford. So you got Doc, Tkachuk, Anderson, Entwistle, Reese Johnson, all the final cut, and it's 2 spots probably. I'm going to assume they're going to take 2 extra forwards and 1 extra defenseman. Maybe they go the other way and take 2 extra defensemen and only 1 forward. But a 5-game road trip, I probably think you want to go with 2 forwards.
You would think.
I
But
think
you
you're going to
never
go extra. I think they're probably going to go with the 2 extra forwards because even though Kurashev's been skating, it still didn't sound like he was going to be ready for the regular season. So maybe he doesn't even make the first 5-game trip.
Put him on IR
Yeah.
and let him rest up to the home opener.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But there's plenty of guys that are going to be playing hard, fighting for their NHL spot. And that's what you want. Come this last preseason game, obviously stay healthy. You still have some important guys on this roster for the season. Reichel, Athanasiou, Korchinski. These are guys that you're like, hey, don't get hurt in this game.
Yeah.
Blues, can you, for one time
Not be Pudwax.
in your miserable existence, not be a bunch of pudwax? Can we just have a gentleman's agreement like, hey, I won't hurt you, you don't hurt me, let's get out of this, and then we can beat the living crap out of each other the first time we play each other when it counts.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice
You'd
agreement.
like to see the least Pudwacky game that you can tonight, but the Blues. It is a team that knows that they have all their NHL guys in. Maybe they take advantage of that and try and push around a Corey Perry-less team, a Nick Foligno-less team. Who knows? I mean,
Reece Johnson will be out there.
Reece Johnson's out there. Jared Torrey will be out there. But we'll see. We'll see. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this game gets chippy because a guy like Reece Johnson is out there to play physical, to be a chippy player. We saw it on Thursday night with him going out there and being a wrecking ball, getting in a fight. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he knows that his best bet to stand out is be physical. And if he plays, on that edge and lays a hit, that might warrant, a response from the Blues or anything like that. So wouldn't be surprised if this game gets chippy, maybe a little sloppy, and a regular old Blues and Blackhawks barn burner. But as far as Guttman, I think he's on the team. I think he's looked good. I think he looked good last season, had his season cut short because of an injury. I talked with him a little bit about that on yesterday, about the decision to have the surgery to end the season. He said it was a tough decision because he just got to the NHL. He was making a good impression in his first taste of playing in the NHL, but he knew the long game was to be fully ready for when this moment came, where it was going to be his opportunity to make his be on the NHL roster when the NHL season starts at the beginning of the season. So he made that decision to cut it short, and he's looked good in camp. He looks healthy, ready to go. He's played with NHL guys all camp. I think he's on the team.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's certainly earned it, and I'm kind of, I don't know why I'm surprised by it, but I am a little surprised by Luke's willingness to go young.
I love it.
I feel like if all things being equal, like if waivers were not involved and contracts didn't play a role, I feel like Doc would make the team, Phillips would make the team. Like I seriously, I feel like he's ready to say that all these young guys they've got are ready and deserve a look. But it's not that simple. He sort of acknowledged that much, and I think we're going to see some tough moves made. And it's such a crazy juxtaposition from last year, where you're like, okay, who are the people in this organization that are potentially NHL players at all?
Yeah.
As opposed to now, where you're like, there's 3 or 4 guys that probably deserve to be here that won't be.
What I love about it is you can play a lot of these young guys. Like, it looks like Vlasic, Kaiser, and Korchinski are all going to start the season on the NHL roster, but you also have room for Tenorti. You have Murphy and Jones there. You have a guy like Zaitsev that still can be on the team. And with the forwards group, you have Bedard and Reichel. You have Kurashev, but you also have room for a Foligno and a Perry and these veterans that you can bring in. So you're not pushing guys out because, well, we need these veterans. Like, you can still have all the young guys that you want to play, and you can have the veterans. And I think, and we talked about it early on in the preseason about, this year there's more guys of consequence. And I think, it's going to be, and I saw a little bit of it today on social media. I sent it with you guys. We can start taking our eggs out of the baskets of the players that we had last year and put it into, it's fine to put it into the baskets of the new guys that are going to be here, the guys that are going to be here more long-term. Like, look, Taylor Radish had a great season last year. If he's just okay and maybe isn't part of the plans, that's fine. Yeah. Because you got Frank Nazar coming. You got Oliver Moore coming pretty soon. You got guys coming that the potential and the ceiling is higher than guys that you may already have here.
Yeah, I agree. Let's raise the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
Taylor Radish, nice season, nice player. Maybe we should shoot higher than just nice.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against him. He might come out and score another 25-goal season, which would be great.
It would be fantastic. I like Taylor Radish, but if there's guys here coming in the next couple of years that are better than him, thanks for playing Taylor Radish. Go join the Montreal Canadiens or whoever. Good luck to you with the Nashville Predators.
He can. He can play. He can play in this league.
And
he's
that's
shown
the kind
that.
of dude that when you are a contender and you're looking to add at the deadline, and you don't maybe have the cap space for a $4 or $5 million, $6 million player, you can get a guy like that who can give you that kind of production.
Right.
And that's where, and I think, Kyle Davidson's been very clear about that, saying, look, like, we've got a ton of assets, both draft picks and players that can move. And, like, look, if all these young defensemen that make, like Kaiser, Vlasic, Korchinski, they're all ready to go, they might look at Isaac Phillips and say, we want to move you we want you to have an opportunity.
Right.
And you're probably not going to get that here.
Yeah. I mean, they did it with Mitchell and Regulus, and both of them in Boston. They did it with Caleb Jones. I think they looked at it and was just like, yeah, long term, we don't see it here.
Yeah.
And I think for Blackhawks fans, it's gonna be just fine to, start to let go of that. We all love Mackenzie Entwistle, but there are players that are coming in the next 2-3 years that are gonna surpass him. And I think it's fine to look at that and be okay with that, because that means everything as collectively as a whole is getting better. So I love that the mixture of vets and young guys can be found, and I think Richardson's doing a really good job of letting them go out there, letting them play, make your mistakes, learn from them, and hopefully be better for it.
Yeah. I mean, if you get to the point where Taylor Radish and Mackenzie and Whistle and those guys aren't good enough to be on your roster, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
You're in a good spot. Then that's where you want to be. No disrespect to those guys, but I would like to have a roster that Mackenzie Entwistle just isn't good enough to make.
That would be great.
But that means that means we have a really good team.
Yeah, and it seems like that's where they are right now. And it's and Dan brings up a good point on the Radish thing. He says, look what Tanner Jeannot returned last year at the deadline. They got a ton for him.
Well, yeah, let's say Taylor Radish is scoring 20 goals again this year. His contract's expiring.
Yep.
Like, Blackhawks aren't going to be in contention for anything this year, probably. So,
Yeah.
if
he's
I
got
mean,
17, 18 goals,
if his value is better now than it ever will be, or at that point hypothetically than it ever will be beyond that, you say thank you, and here's your next opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for
in
being
the
a
NHL.
stopgap.
Yeah. He's probably somebody said it in the chat a couple minutes ago. He might be the best trade chip at the deadline, because we don't have. There you go. Dan said it. Dan and his contract. Yeah, the value. If he's got 15 to 18 goals at the trade deadline, people are gonna be calling him.
Yeah,
because it's not.
$758,000 cap hit.
Yeah,
it's like I think that the league minimum is higher than that now.
It's below league minimum. League minimum is what, $925?
Yep.
No. League minimum is 8.
Okay.
The rookie is $925.
Okay. Yeah.
The rookie maximum is $950 now.
I don't know. I don't know how you can have a league minimum and he's making under it, but
because it's the old league minimum.
It's gone up since.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So he could be a good trade candidate, or if he's playing really good, you extend him, you bring him back. Like, there's no,
sure, yeah.
And if he stinks, you don't bring him back. Like, it's okay. It's okay with guys like that to move on if you've got better guys coming. And we're definitely in that situation. We're heading in that direction.
Look, I think back to everyone loved Marty Havlat, but when Marian Hossa was there, I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Marty who?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's I'm not putting those guys at his level, but it is not show friends, it's show business, as Jay Moore said and Jerry Maguire.
You can both like guys like Taylor Radish, Mackenzie Entwistle, and Colin Blackwell and cheer for them because they're likable guys and they
Take
try
a trip
hard.
Go to Beefaroo.
It's okay to be fans of those players and also want better players than those guys.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%. All right, should we do our Who's Your Hawk segment now?
Yes, because it's on Twitter.
The first live Who's Your Hawk in CHGO history.
The final one. We're going to maybe
it's the reset button. Delete.
Yeah.
Delete.
Maybe we put down a preseason champion. If Mario and I win, if you win, then it's a 3-way tie.
All right.
And we all have to Rochambeau each other for the championship.
Naked Greco-Roman wrestling.
God, that better not happen.
Thunder Down Under once
our-
again.
Talk about Thunderline.
Our helmet will have some more stickers on it tonight, too. I brought a whole bunch of fun stickers to throw on there. We have to take those pads out during the game today. That's one of the keys.
Oh, the helmet
Yeah.
pads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
the
yeah.
lining.
Who's our Hawks?
All right,
Who are our
since
Hawks?
I'm losing, I'll go first. Mine's Colton Dock, getting a good opportunity tonight to get some top line minutes. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I hope he makes a really strong case because, as anyone knows who's listened to this show since we started, I love chaos, and I don't think it's going to happen. But Colton Dock making this team would create some chaos, and I want to see him put up his best case because he is sure as hell gotten Luke Richardson's attention.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he goes out of his way to talk about Colton Dock often, and the fact that he's still here. Like if we said, hey, what are going to be some surprises at the end of training camp? Would Colton Dock being one of the final cuts be on my list? Absolutely not. I would think he'd be one of the first guys that want to get to Rockford and get ingrained, start playing, yada yada. No, he has made it until the last possible day.
And I think the Philip Kurashev injury has helped him.
Sure, yes, definitely.
It's definitely helped him. Yeah. Good for Colton Dock. Big chance tonight. He's on the top, no doubt on the top line.
Yeah.
But not on that team.
Yeah, big for Colton Dock. I am going to go with Andreas Athanasiou. He's going to be on that line with Reichel and Dock as well. I think he's had a fine preseason, and I think he is going to find himself with Reichel paired together to start the year. Whenever Philip Kurashev gets healthy, I think he's going to get back to that line. So would love to see that chemistry of Reichel and Athanasiou continue to build off what they did last year, what they showed early in camp. I know they've been split up a little bit as games have happened, but would like to see that come back. Early in camp, he was scoring a lot of those, one-on-one and breakaway chances. Would love to see him bury one tonight in that fashion to have some faith that his hands will continue to keep up with his feet.
Yep. I was third to pick, and you guys had picked 2/3 of the top line. So I was like, all right. I mean, the easy pick here is Lucas Reichel. And Lucas Reichel, I would hope, finds the score sheet tonight. But then I was also thinking, well, looking at these line constructions, the top line is going to be the only line that the Blues defense is really going to try and shut down. In steps in Cole Guttman, our guy. His wingers are Boris Kachuk and Joey Anderson, another former Lightning there, so he feels at home.
Is he?
Boris Kachuk is.
Oh, Kachuk. Oh, yeah.
I don't think Anderson was ever. Maybe he was. Maybe Steve Yzerman drafted him.
I know
too.
he came from
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah. So I think Guttman is going to sneak in a goal. Maybe Guttman's going to get power play time.
Yeah.
Someone's got to play on the power play. So something strange. I hope he completely embarrasses Jordan Binghamton to where Binghamton throws a water bottle at him after the game. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yes, that would be a lot of fun. All right, and now as for what we're kind of watching in this one for me, I've really been in on the who's going to be the right defenseman guy story. So I'm really going to be watching Kevin Korchinski and Isaac Phillips there closely today, see how they handle it. This is a kind of way in for Korchinski's going to start on the left. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah.
But for Phillips to make the team, if he shows he can do it, he's got more of an argument, right? If he shows that he's capable of handling it, and from the first time we asked Luke about this, actually about Noah Allen, he said his preference for a guy playing on the offside is big and strong and physical. And Isaac Phillips checks all three of those boxes, at least from a strength standpoint, should be able to handle managing the puck on his backhand. But we saw Wyatt Kaiser doing it the other night very well.
He did it really good.
Strong on the
Really good
boards,
job.
showing that he's perfectly capable too. So I think as long as one of them is able to do it, it opens the door for other young defensemen to come up.
Yeah.
Because if none of them can do it, then Zaitsev's in there every night. And that's not what anyone wants, except Zaitsev, and maybe not even him.
It's not ideal. Yeah, I would love for one of those young guys to have that chance to play that side.
I'm going to be keeping an extra eye out for the two guys that I feel are the odds-on favorite to get those last two roster spots, and that's Boris Kachuk and Mackenzie Entwistle. They're not on the same line tonight, but they probably will be killing off penalties together like they were the other night. They did a good job. Those are the guys who I think are the 2 roster spots to lose. So I'm going to keep an eye on them to see if they solidify that, prove me wrong, prove me right, whichever. Those are the 2 guys that I think have the most to lose with a bad performance tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm looking in net to Peter Mrazek. I want to see where he is at as he heads into the regular season as the presumptive starter, at least to start the season. He's looked all right in the preseason action so far. Obviously, it's not a ton of action because he's splitting time with Soderblom, and Kamezzo's been in there, and Jackson Stauber's had time as well. But I want to see, he's supposed to get the full game tonight. Hopefully he does, because if he doesn't, that means something bad has happened. So hopefully, we see a good game from Mrazek. I know we joke a lot about him being injured and being a subpar goaltender. It's just his track record. But he seems like a very nice person, and I would love for him to have a successful year.
He's had some great years, man.
Because it would just be nice for him, because no one gets into the NHL to be, I want to be below average. Like, that these guys are pushing hard to be the best they can. So I would love to see a good game from Mrazek tonight, give some confidence to him, some confidence to Blackhawks fans in net as we get the regular season started.
Yeah, Peter Mrazek's got a lot to play for this year.
Yeah.
This is last year of that deal, so he's going to be a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing for his NHL life beyond this season.
Yep.
So if he can prove that he could stay healthy and be an average to better than average NHL starter, that's going to open up the door. And hell, that may even, if he proves he can stay healthy and he's playing good, there may be a contender that calls at the trade deadline for a backup or a 1B type of guy, an insurance policy. Like, hey, I know we have this goaltender, but, he's a little young, and in case he gets rattled in the playoffs, we need a veteran to start a game or two. This could be so he's got a lot to play for this year. It's not just him out there, cruising through 82 games. It's a big year for Peter Mrazek.
Yep. 31 years old, $3.8 million cap hit. If he is healthy, that is a guy you could see potentially being flipped at a deadline.
Maybe.
You could also probably throw Tyler Johnson into that mix too. But we got all year to get to that. But I am, for many reasons, I would like to see Mrazek do well. Because, look, if he starts playing like the guy Toronto thought they were getting, the Hawks are significantly better.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun season. Let's tie the bow on this, though. Let's wrap it up. We are back as soon as the game ends tonight, as always. So make sure you're with us. Keep an eye on our Twitter account for the link to the postgame show. As soon as it's available, we'll tweet it out and join us. And on your way out tonight, make sure you smash that like button. And we'll talk to you after Hawks and Blues on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.